Hello and welcome to Head and Shoulders, where we cover athletes' performances and otherwise that are head and shoulders above the rest. So today, before I get into the content, my laptop broke. I was reading the comment section, and there have been some people claiming that Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is on drugs, that the women, both the Americans, the British, and everybody, they're looking more and more like men because they have traps. You can even see it here on Gabby Thomas, that you see her trap muscles are a little bit more attenuated, I think is the word, or muscular or something like that. So they're saying, hey, those are only what you see in bodybuilders. So I like to address that comment first. And that really just kind of got me. And I was just like, what? And I dropped my laptop and the screen is broke. It is broken. So normally I use two screens. So I guess this has just motivated me to probably get two laptops and a computer because I've been kind of lazy. I don't have a backup right now. And I'll get one in a couple days. So you're going to see some behind the scenes. It's going to look a little bit ugly here, but yeah, it's not going to be as, I guess, polished as it normally is. But with that being said, to you people that are saying that these women are just implying that they're using drugs where there is no proof, where there's just athletic women that are just building it up. I know people that build up their bodies and they don't have to use any drugs. Lay down the freaking crack pipe, get off the lead-based water, and get the heck out of the comment section, because you will be attacked just like some of these people have already gotten you. It's like 50-something comments. You're just being stupid, straight out. I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not gonna be nice or whatever. Oh, I'm the host. If you don't like it, get off the channel. You don't have to like it. But if you're implying that all of these women are on some drugs because now they got traps or something, or they're looking like men, whatever, man, maybe you just don't realize that some people like an athletic build on a lady, and there are different types of that or whatever. Okay, whatever. If that's not your type of thing, cool. That's not everybody's style. Understandable. But to start saying that, oh, they're doing this because they have, I guess, traps or something. Maybe they're not looking as small as Allyson Felix's, right? So maybe you're just like, oh, there's just too much muscle. Do you notice that they have different body types? Here's Gabby Thomas right here, taller, has a longer torso than Allyson Felix in general, a longer torso than some of the other athletes. Do you realize they got different body types? Veronica Campbell-Brown has a different body type than Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce that had one of other athletes too. A-Thing Mo, you look at her body, she's like thick, skinny, and running very quickly. Now what? Oh, she's using EPO or something like that, right? That's the next thing you're going to imply. Get off the freaking crack pipe. I can't wait till you guys call in. I'm just going to let you talk. I'm going to let you talk and expose yourself, because some of you guys, you go out there and then you're coaching these athletes on this stuff and just like clouding up their heads. One thing is, until we use the best evidence we got. All right. And I know I'm taking up the beginning of this video to talk about this before I get into the performances, amazing performances, but I got to address this. And I guess I already lost some people right now. I got 30 more seconds on this. So for the people that are saying, hey, these athletes are not running legitimate times, or they're saying that the shoes are getting them faster. Okay, number one, the times, if that were the case, why have the men's times gotten faster in some of these events? And women's times have gotten faster in some of the distance events, but the sprint events there, it hasn't been the same amount of talent. They're not always going to go line in line, hand in hand. And some people say, well, men's technology was developed more, whatever. And I'm like, well, all the track has been the same, right? The men and women have been running at the Olympics and championships on the same tracks. There have been fast times by women, and yet shoes have been getting better. All right. Let's just assume that you are correct, that the shoe technology has not improved at the same amount that the men's have, but they have been getting better. If that's the case, how come the women's times have not gotten better in line with that? It's just different dips. Some records last for 30 years. Other records last for 2. Other records last for a couple of months. That's just how things go. The men records for Usain Bolt, who knows how long those will last? Michael Johnson's lasted for a while. So just because you aren't seeing records broken all the time, at some point there's going to be a plateau and then people get there. So just implying all of this stuff with the women, just get out of here. Just get out until they're proven guilty or otherwise. There is no point of doing it. We got to use the best evidence that we got. Okay. Now let's get into Gabby Thomas. Gabby Thomas right here. She sends those shockwaves. She got the Jamaicans quivering, maybe not Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, but she's got everybody else on notice. Shanae Miller-Weibo. She thought she might have had it a little bit easier. Now Gabby Thomas has run the third fastest time in history in the 200-meter dash today. In that, Jenna Prandini, she's now ranked at second fastest in the world. Anavia Battle is the third fastest. Obviously, Clark didn't make it. Let's go down to Allyson Felix. So Allyson Felix is here. Richardson decided to pull out. She's going to focus only on the 100. That might be a smart move by her to focus on that, because that allows her not to go through rounds. Obviously, she's trying to maximize her chances of, taking on the might of Jamaica right now, because you got Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. That's the most likely candidate. Then you got Okabari. Even if it wasn't a win legal, I'm sure she can run a 10-7 low, 10-7 mid with a win legal time. All right. Let's just, especially putting them there. People are saying that she's a soft pile. Let's stick on the 200 right now. Gabby Thomas, definitely she's willing to take on Elaine Thompson, Shanae Miller-Weibo, Dina Asher-Smith, which is world champ, Elaine Thompson, Olympic champ, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, her weakest event is the 200. So I wouldn't put her as the strongest candidate to win that. I put Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce as the strongest candidate to win in the 100. That's just, it is what it is. You guys let me know if you agree or disagree. I just call it as I see it, right? So I would say a better candidate would be looking at maybe Sharika Jackson if there's a challenge there. But we're going to see in the finals tomorrow when the women in Jamaica run, and I might have to do an updated video. But as I see it right now, Gabby Thomas and Shanae Miller-Weibo, Dina Asher-Smith, she knows how to peak for that championship. And really, she's run more 200s in her career than she's run 100s. So that's her strongest event. I almost look at her like she's running the 100 so that she can prepare her 200 versus she's a 100, 200 athlete. That's what I look at Dina Asher-Smith as. So if she can get a new PR, and especially if she can make the final this year with how fast the women are running, well, then she's got a really good chance of getting a fantastic PR in the 200. And so Shanae Miller-Weibo has a lot of work for her to do. But as we can see with Jackson coming down from the 400, it might put that strength and add that to some speed, and you got a good combination, and that has worked for her in the 100. Now, will that work for Shanae Miller-Weibo in the 200? I believe so. We've been seeing a lot of these athletes, they come down, they're running at these. It's funny because normally what athletes will do, they get quote unquote slower and then they will move up in the event. You see that in the distance athletes all the time. They're slow in the 1500, then they move up to the 5K, 10K marathon, right? Now we just got young people going straight to the marathon. And as we can see, times are getting faster and faster. But I think with her strategy of going shorter, okay, now my laptop is freezing up. All right, I don't know if you guys heard me or if that froze up, but yeah. So with the times with her getting older, she's going shorter. And I think she said she was fine. She won the 400. Now she's going to try to go after the 200. I think she should have stuck to the 400. But whatever it is, she said, hey, I got that. Every individual athlete has their own goal. She wants to get a gold medal in the 200. And maybe she wants to just avoid trying to go against whatever, the cloud that is around Nasser. And then Nasser has question marks around her anyway this year. But Shanae Miller-Uibo has some work for her to do. So let's go back here. But Gabby Thomas has run the third fastest in history. She ran 3 PRs. She ran a PR in the prelims, then the semis, and then in the final. And each one of those times, she was easing up. Now, this one, she ran almost all the way through. It was about 12.9 meters to go. She put her hands up in the air, and she was just going. So, of course, she would have ran faster. She would have ran 21.5 something. If that's what she was doing there, and she was excited, I know if her coach has her peaking correctly, she's got this thing on a wrap. I've seen Shanae Miller-Uibo run. It's going to be between Shanae Miller-Uibo and Gabby Thomas, unless Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce or Jackson, and maybe Elaine Thompson, because I think the 200 is, I look at Elaine Thompson as 200 as a stronger event, but maybe that's because of what I'm seeing as Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce's weaker event, because I just look at Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce as a more consistent athlete. They both had injuries, unfortunately for Elaine Thompson. It just came earlier than it did for Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. But I can't see Dina Asher-Smith in that. Well, I can kind of see her, but I look at her as a solid silver between these two. Like, if it was just one of these athletes here, Gabby Thomas doesn't have the history. So that if I were to go by consistency and everything, it'll be between Shanae Miller-Uibo, Dina Asher-Smith, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, and I don't think Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce would win necessarily. That's a more of a toss-up for her, because like I said, it's a weaker event. And then she's bound to drop out of it. She's done that before. When she gets her a medal and everything, she's bound to drop out, focus on the 4x1 and everything. So especially if she's dealing with, like she said, she has some niggles. So if she's dealing with that, she's likely, if she wins her 100, she's going to be like, all right, I'm done. I'll pull out, just like what happened in 2019. She's fine. Or like how she was thinking about running the 4x1 or not in 2019. So same thing here. If we look at how this is, Allyson Felix, I really just don't even see her. Oh, wait a minute. Allyson Felix didn't make it. Or did she? What the heck? Why am I just remembered this right now. Allyson Felix did not make it. Sorry, everybody. For some reason, I'm getting her mixed up. And I think it's just I'm flustered from dropping my laptop and breaking the screen. Allyson Felix made it in the 400. I think I said something about her doing something earlier in this video. So right now, I just caught myself, and I'm pretty sure somebody already said in the comment section. I'm not going to re-record this, but they already probably called in the comment section. I'm going to be like, hey, did you listen to the whole video? So on and so forth. But yeah, so these three women right here in this final, they set the 3 fastest times this year. Obviously, we got to wait for Shanae Miller-Uibo. She's going to be prepared to take on Gabby Thomas, but is she going to be able to beat her? It's going to be between Thomas, Miller-Uibo. I can't see Dina Asher-Smith really doing it unless it rains. Dina Asher-Smith knows how to win in inclement weather. Do you guys notice, if you look through her history and go through every single race, if it's rain, if it's cold, if it's like something like really weird temperatures, Dina Asher-Smith, I think, has a perfect record. I think she has a perfect record in winning. So if it rains or something like that in freaking Japan, right? If it rains there, well, she wins. That's the way I'll put it. I'm just going to put an automatic stamp and sticker of approval that she wins. I'm just going to blindly throw it out and put all of my, 50% of whatever I'm betting as far as money, if I were to bet. Now, I'm a betting man. I do investments. So I do have my speculation there. I will put it on Dina Asher-Smith. In normal weather, I'm putting it with Miller-Uibo and Thomas, just based on what I've seen. Dina Asher-Smith knows how to compete. She's going to have to run above and beyond herself. And after seeing her in the British trials in the 100, she didn't look that good at all. She did not look that good at all. She was bouncing and everything. Dina Asher-Smith did not necessarily look like her normal self. And it was unfortunate that they got her 1071, as you guys can see in the last video that I had posted up. They had her at a 1071 and then rounded it up to a 1097. Man, these timers were smoking. So with that being said, she hasn't looked like herself. Maybe that was just in the 100. Let's see her running 200 and see what happens. But she's national champ in the UK. That was okay with there. She had an easy time there. But we're going to see what happens. Unfortunately, Lena Irby, that's one of my favorites, a personal favorite. I would have liked to see her there, but she's in the 4x4 pool. So it'll be good to see there. I have a race with the 400 hurdles coming up. I got a race with the 100-meter hurdles on the men's side coming up. Here we go. Grant Holloway. This was the final, but he nearly broke the world record or tied the world record earlier with a 1081. That's going to come up in another video. I'm going to cover both of the hurdles because at this Olympics, we got so many events. I am covering both the Jamaicans, the American trials, the Kenyan trials, the Australian trials, the British trials. I'm covering everything that I can think to do that. So the people in the comment section that are just wanting to hate because they want to hate or they just say spew hateful comments or whatever, hey, you guys can go shove it. You can go somewhere else, or you can keep being down there and hating. I don't know. It helps the algorithm, I guess. But do what you're gonna do, but just have some common sense before you comment. Because you saying I'm only covering Jamaican trials. I'm covering the people that, like I said, head and shoulders above the rest. Grant Holloway is head and shoulders above everybody this year. And quite frankly, the U.S. is going to be as tough as competition in the men's 100. The United States is way above that, but it isn't like it's like the Usain Bolt has spoilers for choice. If we were to look at that. So now I'm going to other topics. If you guys want to leave, go ahead. But if you're like a track person, then I'm talking about all the things that I'm going to cover in the future. Like I said, this is a broadcast. This isn't a show or anything. This is a broadcast. So really, these are visual aids in the background. You can close your eyes and actually just listen through with what I'm saying. As far as that, that's how I have it set up. But Usain Bolt has kind of spoiled us for choice about how fast he runs and what we're doing. Trayvon Bromell, I mean, the championship is kind of handed to him. The USA trials was kind of like the Olympics, in my opinion. I don't see the Jamaican men ain't got nothing. Look at the list. I mean, the Kenyan men. Where is that at? Is Kenya on here? We got Nigeria up here. We got, did they even update it? Yes, Johan Blake. Oh my goodness. If you saw what happened in that semi with Johan Blake, with the announcer, the Jamaican announcer said, well, at least we have at least what do you say? He said, oh, Johan Blake 999. Well, he's the best we have. That's exactly how the announcer said it. And I was just like, man, I felt the defeat in his voice. Like there's nobody really to challenge the men in the 100. There's nobody to challenge the men in the 100 hurdles on the Jamaican team. It's not, the talent is not there this year. The consistency or whatever is not there this year. Then we got Kenyans that are breaking their own national records. Now, this is at altitude. To my understanding, it's easier to run faster times in altitude, which is why they didn't have the also, it's also easier for people that live in altitude to compete than it is for people not at altitude as far as in the distance races, which is why after they had Mexico City, they don't do anything in altitude anymore. Like the jumps, I guess it was easier to jump in altitude because I guess less oxygen to push through or something in the air, however that works. So maybe this was this, but I remember the Kenyan announcers, man, they were so focused on something else. They didn't even capture that this was one of the fastest times in history for Kenya. I was just like, man, y'all got to improve. But Kenya, they're coming up close about to break 10 seconds and whatnot. So the Kenyan men are looking like they're going to beat Jamaica. Like that's how much the talent is not there for Jamaica this year. And so I don't have any country favoritism or anything. It's just I cover it like I see it. And when you get the Kenyan men to start catching up, and they're not known for that, also they're running faster than they've ever have in general. So that's pretty good too. So you're seeing the Kenyan men do that, and then the talent go down in Jamaica. So I mean, it's two things crossing paths right there. Now, if you can get a new PR, I actually would like to see this. I would like to see a Kenyan athlete start making it through some of the trials, making it to the semis and everything. They're going to have some work ahead of them, but hey, we might see a Kenyan guy in the final. That would be crazy. Just like in the 400 hurdles. Uh, rest in peace. I forget his name now, but he won the 400 hurdles. And then he passed away a few years later. So, with that being said, that's all I got today. Like, comment, subscribe. We're looking for 1,000 subscribers by the end of that. I probably went on some kind of rant or a little bit longer than normal, but I am a little bit flustered from me dropping my laptop like a freaking complete idiot right here. And I was reading the comments, and they were just going ham on these women, and I just cannot understand. They're looking more and more like men. I'm like, they don't look like men to me. I mean, I don't know. I see them, they have bigger traps or whatever. Not all of them are going to be shaped the same. Yeah, sure. And they're not talking about they look like men in the face either. They're talking about they look like men with the muscles in certain parts of their bodies. I mean, hey, look, it doesn't float everybody's boat. Maybe he's saying, hey, it's not attractive to me, so they look like me. But when you're preparing as an athlete, your body is going to be shaped a certain way. This is my last thing. The athletes are going to be shaped a certain way. So if, I mean, look at Michael Phelps. His body looks very, very weird. Just look at his body, and it's weird. His body is shaped a certain way. Basketball players, they have extremely long arms compared to regular people walking down the street. So if you just kind of look at them with a regular person's body next to them, then they would look weird. But you're kind of used to seeing that. So maybe you don't even look at it and notice that it's weird. There are different body types that will be going towards certain events. Your body is going to be made for that. And if you look throughout history for the women, more of the women look like what a Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce or a Carmelita Jeter. They look more like that than they would look like a right now a Brianna Williams. As far as body, because she hasn't even fully gotten in and developed. And I'm pretty sure if she goes through and do more weightlifting programming as her career progresses, she's going to get a little bit more muscular. That's just what's going to happen. Younger, you're not yet there. Even look at in the 400 hurdles. Why am I forgetting their names now? Sydney McLaughlin. If you look at Sydney McLaughlin, she's getting more muscular. Even Usain Bolt got more toned and bulked up from 2008 to 2009. It was the year everybody was getting bulked up. It was everybody. Tyson Gay, Usain Bolt, they both bulked up, and all of their competitors, they were bulking up more. Asafa Powell just freaking bulked up in general. But Usain Bolt put on some weight. He put on more muscle. Then he got slimmer again. But you notice it. It just goes through. It's just different cycles. And that doesn't imply somebody's using drugs or anything. It just happens to be within their cycle. Remember, these coaches and athletes go through 4-year training blocks. So they're training and trying to get themselves ready. So however that goes, they got these things planned out in the future, and then their bodies are going to compensate for that. So maybe she has to do more muscular, more weightlifting to compensate that she's older now to take up for that. Even Batman had to, where he did no weightlifting, and I'm a type of person that prefers to do plyometrics and other types of core rather than weightlifting. But I understand as you get older, and you can't do that as much, and you actually have to go to the weights because of the resistance that it gives you with that. And even he started to do weightlifting later on in his career. I mean, it just happens. So with that being said, I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace.